Let's get into it. Mike Muscala on the phone right now. Here's my interview with him from earlier this week.
Yeah, man. I always loved his energy, and obviously I knew he was a great player from Bucknell. Was on the team that beat Kansas, and kind of put Bucknell on the map. So it was cool getting to play for him my senior year, and then also the fact that he joined the Atlanta staff with Mike Budenholzer when I was there. So we got a chance to work together for even longer, a few years together there in Atlanta. So that was a blessing to be able to reconnect like that.
And what do you remember about that team at Bucknell your senior season, going into it, kind of the expectations you had, and, just what kind of team that was that made the, tournament that year?
Oh, yeah, that was, for me, that was, the other seniors on the team, Bryson Johnson, Joe Willman, Colin Clebon, and, we had a good first 3 years there and felt like that senior year was kind of everything for us, And then obviously CJ McCollum played for Lehigh. We kind of developed a rivalry, and then he got hurt our senior year. So, it was, we felt like we were for sure the favorites, and we won. We couldn't get it done in the tournament, but it was a really fun year. I felt like we played really good basketball, and we were just clicking.
Yeah, what made that team so successful? Was it the defense? Was it the offense? What was kind of your calling card on that team?
It was both. I feel like the coaches there, they did a great job just making us better as players. We had good practice habits. We were accountable, defensively. And, yeah, we just had a bunch of competitive guys on the team, and we're all pretty close, having played together for a few years at that point. So, I think it was all those things.
And what was Charles' role in that team? Did you work with him directly at all? What was kind of his job coming in?
That was kind of like he was new to coaching at that point, you
Yeah.
know, but I could just tell early on that he had a great energy for it. And obviously we all respected him and valued his, what he said, his opinions, just because he had been there before, and he had been a part of good teams and been the leader of those teams. So just for him having that experience, along with just kind of his upbeat, personable attitude, I think we could all tell early on that he was going to be a great coach.
Yeah, and I talked to his coach, Pat from Bucknell there, and that was what he said. He'd always, light up the room, big personality. What were some ways you kind of saw that, the upbeat energy you just talked about?
I think, just like he's consistent with it, and, just like he just brings a good volume to the room, and he's just assertive and confident, and he just kind of brings the energy that is important throughout the course of the season too. When it's a long season, and a lot of it just comes down to who has more of that positivity, more of that juice.
Yeah, and when you look back on that year, I know you became the all-time leading scorer, and like you said, getting in the March. What was kind of your best memory of that team, and what you guys accomplished that year?
That's a good question. I would just say winning the Patriot League tournament again. Everyone storming the court, and all of us hugging each other after, and just being able to play that championship tournament game at home. It's one of the few conferences where they still do that, I think, so that was special just to be able to close it out, especially after how we had ended our season the year before, losing at home to Lehigh in the championship and then cutting down the nets in our own court. It was always kind of a motivator for us in the offseason.
Yeah, and you mentioned Charles joined you guys in Atlanta a couple years later. How would he come along as a coach in those couple years since you had been with him, and what kind of contributions did he give to that team that year? Were you able to work with him then?
Yeah. No, he was a great coach in Atlanta. Just a great player development coach. Like I said, I got a chance to work with him a lot. He was kind of like my coach my assistant. And then we always had really good, low minute games where guys who weren't playing a lot we'd play 5-on-5, so he would join us along with Ben Sullivan, and he was still playing at a high level at that point. So I think just like in his consistency as a player, like for me personally working with him, I felt like I was playing some of my best basketball. Just walking me through different finishes and different footworks and stuff like that. Stuff that I felt like was just paying dividends throughout the years I was there working with him.
Yeah, what were the little things you kind of worked on? The finishing you talked about. Like, what was he kind of able to help you through that year?
Just like finishes off the roll, like some one dribble finishes, catching the ball in that short roll, just finishes around the basket like that, some good ball handling stuff that he was able to show himself. And then for me as kind of a 4 or 5, I feel like I was able to utilize some of that stuff.
Yeah, and so obviously he's joining Boston. You were in Boston for half a year. What are some things you think he'll be able to bring to that team? Is it the development stuff? Is it his voice? Like, what do you think's going to be his biggest contribution there on that staff?
Yeah, it's all that, and then obviously he won a ring with the Bucks recently, so having gone through that, seeing what that takes, being a part of that. Obviously Celtics have those championship aspirations, so I think it'll be all those things.
Yeah, and do you think that's something they kind of needed, a voice like that? A guy who kind of brings what Charles does to the table. They're able to bring in him, Sam, a couple guys to that staff. Based on what you saw there last year.
I think they I never worked with Sam, but grew up watching him. Grew up in Minnesota, so I think that they'll be great voices and great leaders.
Yeah. And how do you kind of look back on your time in Boston? It wasn't very long, but you guys made a playoff push there. Almost pulled off that first 3-0 comeback. What do you just kind of look back on the short time you had there for you?
Oh, I had a great time. It was one of my most favorite experiences playing basketball. It was a great city. Speak so highly of the city and of the team, and people ask what it was like. Just the fans were amazing. They loved their basketball. They were very supportive. I just really enjoyed getting to know the city, getting to learn about the history of the area, having some friends and family come out and visit, and play at the Garden. Man, it was awesome. So a lot of really fun memories.
Yeah, and like I said off the top, you and Danilo getting comfortable there at DC so far. Kind of your goals for this year, and just how you're kind of going into it. With camp coming up now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay in it. I feel like it was a blessing to play. Deep into the playoffs, and just be a part of the Celtics for that. And then I played in the Pro in the summer, and just try to keep playing, keep in shape, just keep learning from the game, keep enjoying it, staying grateful, for the time I still have playing this game. So that's kind of the mindset I have going forward. Just doing that, staying in the flow of it, just appreciating every day I have it. I can still play.
All right, Mike. Well, appreciate the time. It was good to catch up a little bit here. I think you guys got the Celtics October 30th, so I'll be down there. I'll come say what's up, and like I said, best of luck this year.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, I'll see you then, man. Nice talking to you.